You are now listening to the number one podcast in the multiverse with your hosts, Azrin and Alfika.
This is All the Way with A&A.
Yo, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another exciting episode of All the Way with A&A. And previously on the last episode, it was episode 4, and today it's episode 5, titled A Very Special Episode. That's the name of the episode, and this is a very special episode because with me, as always, I got my man, the other A, Alfico. Man, how you doing?
I'm your man.
Yeah.
By the way, we did 3 and 4 last week.
Oh, right, we did a double premiere, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, man. So,
Yeah,
what are your overall
I'm
thoughts
good,
about
I'm
this?
excited. It's like I have mixed feelings. Like um, I feel great that the story is progressing to somewhere that is like it's opens more avenue. Like the story will take us anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We
Nothing is
we
off the
know,
table,
we,
yeah.
we don't, yeah, we don't know what's going on. Rather than questions being answered, questions are being asked, like more. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, you bring
And
up a good point. Yeah.
and then the reason why I really like this character, Wanda. Like from even when she was like evil, but not evil, like against the Avengers, but it was from a good cause, like it was an understandable cause, like she and her brother lost their family. Now it's just like no, I mean we go to the analysis later, but like in the episodes where it was revealed that she is doing all this, like she even admitted to doing this.
Yeah.
I was like, fam, like,
Well,
go get drugs, go get drugs.
you need help. You need to seek attention.
Go get drugs, man. Go get help. Like, come on. Man.
Well, you did bring up a very good
Move
point,
on.
though. A good show.
Move on.
What I always say about a good show is they answer one question and they open 10 questions after that. So this really, every episode they've been doing that. So yeah, I want to get into the play-by-play analysis. So let's get into it. I'm gonna put the video up right now. Let's see. Okay, so starting from, well, I'm gonna skip that intro because that intro was interesting to say the least, because they're how do you say it, cuddling their babies or carrying their babies, and Vision is putting one to sleep, Wanda is putting one to sleep, and they're having trouble doing it. And the funny thing is, after they're crying and Wanda says, go to sleep, and she does her magic and it doesn't work. So that to me signifies that, are the babies countering the effects of their mom's magics? I don't know, maybe that's a sign. And then after that, Vision comes in with the baby's binkies and puts it in his ears and tries to put them to sleep. Immediately after that, Agnes comes in.
What did you call them?
Oh, binkies, yeah.
I call them pacifiers.
Pacifiers, yeah.
Was that the Malay term?
I think that's like the brand. They called it binkies in the show. I think that's a secondary name.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they called it binkies.
Okay, go.
So wait, so
Maybe at the time, like 1980.
yeah, is your mic okay? You sound kind of loud right now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm too loud now.
I mean, previously when you were talking, it was okay. Yeah. So where was I? Oh yeah, Agnes comes in, and
My voice,
are you okay?
yeah.
Okay, this is good. So Agnes comes in, and Vision tries to hide his face behind the pillow. And okay, we are 4 minutes in, and the weird thing starts at 4 minutes in, as early as that, because the first sign of weirdness happens when, Agnes volunteers to take care of the babies. She comes in. She just comes in the door and she says, I heard that your two babies are having trouble sleeping. And then Vision says, how do you know that? And then Agnes says, well, my ears told me. That's the first sign of something's weird. And then the next thing is, Vision tries to stop Agnes from becoming the babysitter, essentially. And then Agnes looks at Wanda in a way like they realize they're acting. So she looks at Wanda, and then she says, so should I just take it from the top? Like, should I just start back my line? That's so weird, the way that they realize. Oh, wow. What do you think about that moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I knew what was going on. Like I don't know if you watch bloopers of sitcoms
Yeah,
where
that's
they do
exactly.
exactly that. But when they mess up, they either say that or they just rewind
They
like
rewind.
manually. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they go back to the start and then restart the scene again
Yeah,
from
exactly.
the stairs. Like I don't know if you watch The Big Bang Theory. That one is an example, where
Ah,
they go up the stairs, and when they go up the stairs or down the stairs, when they mess up, they have to return to
where they were, yeah? Yeah,
whichever direction they came.
okay, that's a good one. I don't watch the series, but I heard there was so many good things about it.
Yeah,
Happened, yeah.
yeah, like that's my thought. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then the weird thing is about all this is Vision realizes that just happened. Usually Vision goes along with it when Wanda wants to rewind something or something is not going the way it should. Vision doesn't really realize it, but this time he is onto it and he calls Wanda to the side like, Wanda, come. What just happened? Why did Agnes look at you in that weird way? Did you just not see what I saw? And then, Agnes, meanwhile, she's doing babysitter stuff, looking for liquor to to drink, and then suddenly they don't hear anything. The babies went silent. So they're like, did you hear that? No, absolutely nothing. They looked at the cribs, the babies were not there, and then they're like, what happened to the twins? And then you hear the voices of two kids saying, Mommy, Daddy, oh, in the span of 1 second, they grew up to be 5 years old, bro. Oh, man. And meanwhile, Agnes is watching all this happen as if she's not even phased. She just looks at them and says, kids, you can't really control them. Like, to me, that's also weird because usually they make an attempt to hide their powers, no? Like from the first four episodes or 3 episodes. They make an effort to hide their abilities, but not in front of Agnes, apparently. She just saw everything go down, as weird as it is. She just drinks whatever she's drinking. Does that seem weird to you?
Yeah, like she doesn't seem phased, right? Is
Yeah,
that what you're saying about
yeah,
the entire thing? Yeah, because as we know, she's in control.
yeah. We have our
I
theories
mean,
about
we're gonna
Agnes. Yeah,
touch. We're gonna circle back to that, but yeah, it's just like it's interesting to see that she's playing almost like God. Like she she wants it this way, and she doesn't want anyone to mess up, or maybe they die if
mm-hmm.
something terrible happens to them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like you can think of a list of horrible things that could happen to those people who are
yeah.
being held against their will.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's a good point. I never saw it that way. I never saw it that way, but yeah, probably you're probably right. So then it cuts to the commercial. I mean, the intro opening that pays homage to the old 80s sitcoms, Full House and all that. And Full House was a meta throwback to Elizabeth Olsen's two twin sisters, Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, who were when they were younger, starring in their own sitcom. So I think over there. Um, so when immediately after that we jump back to the outside world, where we see Monica Rambeau wake up at the sword facility after being thrown out of the hex, they call it. The official name for Wanda's quarantine bubble is the hex. And so um, yeah, so that the weird thing is when she wakes up, she's got her brain, I think her brain scan or MRI scan or whatever scan, and she sends the sword agent or the sword medical staff to go check it out, and she comes back. And I think this is the most important information that they just skipped over, like is not even important. But I think there's something here when the paramedic woman says, you know, this your scans came back empty, and then they just like, yeah, whatever, maybe I need another scan, and then she's like, no, we're done here, and then they just moved on. But I think there's something there, and the prevailing theory is that is the first sign of Monica Rambeau having some kind of ability, some kind of power. Do you see it?
Like what? Like from the test, like inconclusive test results. Is
Yeah,
that what you're saying?
yeah. Her test results came back blank or empty because and then the staff, the nurse says there might be something wrong with the machine, but I don't think that's it. I think, yeah.
Actually, no, I just thought it was because the fact that she was there. But maybe you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so you think it's just
You're
the
right,
hex
yeah.
messing up the okay. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe what Wanda's doing is messing up with her body also.
Oh,
Not the,
okay.
not,
Okay.
not
Yep.
the mind.
All right.
I mean, that's just me, but I might be wrong.
Initially, I thought like you, but after seeing other people's theories, because maybe they're reading too much into it, that Monica does turn out to be her own superhero. Maybe this is like the crumbs, the breadcrumbs that lead to that reveal later on. But who knows? Maybe you're right. So then they move on to assessing who Wanda is and where she came from, and then they went to the meeting room with Jimmy Woo, Darcy, and everybody else to go through basically Wanda's history in the MCU, and you know they went through all her destruction, how she began. Like you said, she started from Sokovia and how she faced all kinds of trauma. All that led to Civil War, and all that led to Infinity War and Endgame. And meanwhile, this director of S.W.O.R.D., supposedly he thinks Wanda is in control of all this, and she is like the culprit. She's the antagonist that is holding the town hostage. And meanwhile, the other three main heroes, Jimmy Woo, Darcy, and Monica, don't think she's all in control, which is what we talked about last episode. Is she fully in control, or is she like 90%, 10%? I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
of the the series
Of
or
the
whatever she's doing
yeah,
in that dome, in that hexagon.
yeah.
Yeah, but for me it's yes and no. Yes because like she revealed so that she is doing this like out of grief, but
Mm.
also no because still got 5 episodes left or 4 episodes left.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Like I still don't believe that she's doing this on. Even maybe she's also being mind controlled as well. Or maybe her emotions are being manipulated.
Mm. That is one of the biggest theories. Yeah.
It, it could be. It could go either way.
Yeah.
But one thing for sure, we know that she is doing this.
Yeah. And she has some kind of control. Yeah.
We know this. Yeah.
All right. So moving on, we cut back to the inside of the dome in the hex. We see the two kids playing in the sink, and then we're like, what are they doing? Even Wanda was wondering what they're doing. Apparently, they're dealing with a dog. They found a puppy that they want to keep, and then Vision comes in, and Vision comes in, and almost immediately Agnes comes in, and Agnes comes in bringing in a dog house, and Vision's such yeah, he's so weirded out by this, like, yeah, of course she comes in with exactly what we need. And then Agnes just dismisses it by saying, I just saw it from my kitchen window that your two boys have a dog now. And then Wanda does, she makes the dog collar appear out of nowhere in front of Agnes again, and that triggers Vision, like, Wanda, why are you doing this in front of Agnes? You're not supposed to reveal your abilities. And then Wanda says, so what? She saw the two kids grow up in front of her eyes last time, from babies to 5-year-olds. What's stopping her now? She's okay. And then Vision is like, usually we're on the same side. What are you not telling me? And Vision is always kind of curious about all these things. And at the same time, they're fighting about their dog. Should they keep the dog? And the dog, by the way, is another Easter egg. The name Sparky, I think, is the name of an actual dog Vision owned in the comics called Sparky. So I thought that was interesting. So they fought for the dog. Like, the kids wanted to keep it. Yeah, the kids wanted to keep the dog, and then Wanda says, she tries to be reasonable with Vision, and she says, okay, so we agree that to get the dog you have to be responsible, so you have to be at least 10 years old. And then the twins looked at each other like,
What? Before you continue, does the dog in the comics have powers or no?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's an android dog, because I know the name Sparky, that rings a bell for me.
Okay, let's hypothetically assume that. Let's just assume that the dog has, with the name like Sparky, what
Wow.
superpower would you give the boy?
The obvious
Not
answer
the boy, the dog.
the obvious answer would be some kind of electricity manipulation thing. Probably. Yeah.
Speed. Just keep that in mind and see what happens
Yeah.
later in this episode.
Yeah, but for me, I thought it was just a fun Easter egg for a name. Maybe it doesn't go anywhere, especially with what happens later on. But we'll get to that. So
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that.
So then the two
Exactly.
boys is like, okay, you want us to be 10 years old? Then immediately in front of their eyes, they turn 5 to 10 years old in front of everybody in the kitchen, including Agnes. Again, that's an important thing, because Agnes just looks at them nonchalantly, like, yeah, I hope these dogs stays the same age, the same size. And then the couple, Wanda and Vision, just are freaked out about what's just happened. Their twins can age up as fast as the speed of thought. If they think it, they can age it, and then they just brush over it. For me, the fact that this thing is happening is already weird. Doesn't it weird you out?
Yeah, it's like I want to use like a weird metaphor, not a metaphor, like a biological thing, but it's inappropriate because they're kids.
Oh, what is the metaphor?
But, yeah, no, I won't say it.
You don't want to get
Like,
cancelled? Okay.
yeah, but we live in the cancel culture,
We
so
do, yeah.
I don't, I don't want to risk it.
Same.
But, but yeah, it's definitely weird, it's obviously not balanced, whatever this kids have,
That's true.
like you can age yourself, but not the surrounding, you have to understand that power is not, it's almost godlike,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, people need to understand the magnitude of what happened.
Yeah. So yeah, then we cut back to the sword people in the sword base, and Monica's discovering, or she's trying to make her way back into the bubble, into the hex, and she's figuring out all this technology that can get into the hex, because whatever she puts in gets transformed, including her clothes. and she tests that theory by shooting her clothes with the gun, and the bullets, they deflect, or they get as if something is blocking them. And then someone asked Captain Rambo, "Weren't you wearing a Kevlar vest when you entered the hex?" She says, "Yeah." And then she discovers that that Kevlar thing that she's wearing got transformed into the 80s clothes that she came out of. So that means Wanda is rewriting reality by somehow, some way, whatever you're wearing exists, but it just looks different. Like her Kevlar vest turned into some 70s pants or 70s clothes, right? And that's interesting because she thinks if she's changing whatever we have now into that era, what can we put in that she won't be able to change? So then that's where they thought of bringing the 80s drone, the old ancient 80s drone, so that Wanda can't change it because it's already in that era. Important note of conversation in that whole situation is Randall Park, what's his name? Agent Wu, right? Jimmy Wu. He says, he brings up a moment from Endgame in the battle with Thanos, and she's like, "Oh, Wanda's so powerful that she almost kicked Thanos' ass by herself." And then Darcy's like, "Yeah, but Captain Marvel came close," or Jimmy says Captain Marvel came close, and then the reaction from Monica's face is like kind of annoyed. Did you catch that?
Yeah, but like I want to know. I want to hear. I want you to rant because I feel a rant coming.
Oh, okay. Rant is maybe for me now. It doesn't warrant a rant from me, because when I saw Captain Monica Rambeau say or react that way with the mention of Captain Marvel, I'm like, yes, same. So there's nothing to disagree there, because I have the same reaction. But my theory is probably for some reason she has beef with Carol Danvers. Some reason she has a vendetta against Captain Marvel. I don't know why, I don't know how, but her reasoning might be tied to her mom, because her mom is her friend, or Captain Marvel's best friend, right? When they were growing up and when they were in the Force. So probably the theory I've been hearing so far is Carol Danvers went away for this, since 5 years after the snap, because she was there in Endgame, right? And then
After the blip.
after the blip, and then in that time, or 3 years after that, her mom Maria Rambeau passed away of cancer. So maybe she's mad that her best friend didn't even visit her to see her passing, or to see her die, or maybe she didn't even care that she was in the hospital for 3 years. Maybe one of those reasons might be true.
Or maybe she was there and we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. And maybe she's mad because one theory that I heard, maybe she's mad because Captain Marvel is the reason why her mom had cancer. I don't know. For me, it's a whack theory by now. I mean, from that so far, I don't know how that works, but probably she's that mad because, yeah, who knows? Maybe the radiation
No,
doesn't
I think,
yeah.
to be honest with you, that's stupid.
I thought so too. Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm gonna use a real life example of what happened to me and my family.
Oh man, all right.
I shouldn't have said that.
If you don't want to get too
So,
personal, we don't have to.
mm, no, I already said it, so might as well say it. My grandmother, like her grandkids, including me, we never visited her as we grew older.
Mm.
Right, so obviously that's the case. If you're a grandmother, you should be upset, or you find ways to pass the time, right?
Yeah, naturally, yeah.
Yeah. So So she did that, like the second thing I mentioned. So what ended up happening was she she uh she got sick because she couldn't take care of herself by eating so many junk food. Where she got diabetes to the point where she uh she was sent to the ICU. You know,
Oh man, I'm so
only if
sorry.
only if only if we, like one of us grandchildren had the nerve to say, "Oh, let's go see grandma." Maybe she'll be alive by now because she would listen to someone who actually cared. You know?
Mm,
How you show your care? You do visit her,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, maybe this, but it's not cancer, right? It's diabetes, where you cause yourself self-harm. Cancer is genetic, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's why that theory you said was stupid,
yeah.
in
Oh, that's
my
true.
opinion.
That's true.
In my opinion.
Yeah,
In my
that's
opinion.
true. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, you bring up a good point because maybe she's upset that the visit, sometimes being there for someone you care about or someone who was close to you, that makes all the difference in the world. You don't have to take care of them. You don't have to give them all the, if you don't have to be a doctor necessarily to take care of them, to save them, but your presence is important. Your presence to be there for them is, yeah, it can change. It can change someone's outcome. And probably she was mad about that. So, yeah, that's how she reacted. For me, it's on the surface level, I see the same way.
If
Yeah.
if later the diagnosis if the cause of death of the mother of Maria, right? Her
Yeah,
name is
Maria, yeah.
Maria. It's not cancer. It's
Mm.
confirmed cancer. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Confirmed cancer. Okay. So if confirmed cancer, then that is stupid. That's not the big thing.
Mm.
Like there's just something.
Yeah, yeah. We'll find out why she's
Okay.
that pissed about the mention of the name Captain Marvel. Well, yeah, we'll find out. Maybe they will have beef, and I'm just excited to see classic best friend, ex-best friend, daughter fight. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Oh yeah, next part is
Uh,
interesting because Vision is at work.
sorry to bring
No, no
people
worries, man.
down with
No
the
worries, man. It is a real moment that we need to reflect sometimes, and yeah, yeah, man. So yeah, hope everything's fine with you, man. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, yeah, Vision at work, right? This is one of the scariest thing I've ever seen on the show so far, because like all the fun stuff that is going on at work. I mean, all the environment at work is usually with him and Norm, his co-worker. They usually have funny scenes. Like when I see them both, there's usually some laughter, some light-hearted moments going on, and he brings up about finding out about electronic mail, email, and how this technology is so new to him, and then he says, "Hey, Vision, we got an email," and then they open the email, they read the email together. They read the email. All everybody in the office read the same email in unison, in chorus. That was the scariest thing I've ever heard, I've ever seen in the show so far. What did you think?
So that I didn't catch that. Like this. What's the
The
first?
part where they read the email about
Oh, the email.
this, yeah,
Yeah,
in the
so
office, they
I
read
got
it
it.
together, bro. They read it. All of them in the office read the same email out loud at the same time. And
Oh yeah, that's creepy. Yeah, so that's
yeah, that was super scary.
um, yeah, that was it gave me chills. Um, that it's interesting that like this creature is the only one that sees this flaw, and he's the only one who also can reverse engineer the mind.
Mm. which
the
he did.
man,
Yeah.
yeah. So I, I think Vision is, you know what's funny about this show? Mm, The the two the two main characters are like not it's not are not the main guys per se. Like what I mean by this is we know Wanda is evil and Vision is just like the pivot.
Mm.
That guy, he's a pivot.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
not the hero. The hero, I can say Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That would make people mad, be mad, but I don't care. I feel that.
I would argue that that the first half of the season so far has been Wanda. The show is called WandaVision, right? The second half
Uh,
of the show will be about Vision and how Vision discovers slowly and slowly how this world that he's living in, there's something wrong in it. We never got to see it in the first three, first four. Yeah, he does realize it, but then he got rewinded. But now he doesn't have that barrier anymore. He can do what he wants. He can think for himself. He has some sort of free will to think for himself, to think freely. So like he tapped into Norm's head, and he activates Norm's real personality underneath all that sitcom drama, and then he sees his panicked self. And this is the most important part. When Norm says, "She's in my head. She's in my head. Make her stop." And then Vision says, "Who?" They never answered who. We know you assume it's Wanda, but Norm would have said, "What? It's Wanda." No, but he didn't. He just said, "She's in my head." Vision says, "Who?" And then they just moved on. And then he snaps back to his Norm character and be like, "Yeah, so blah 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 blah." I thought that was really interesting. How didn't
yeah,
even
that's
mention. Yeah,
yeah, that's a really good point
yeah.
you made just now. Yeah, the fact that he didn't specify.
Yeah, that was so. Yeah, the whole scene was super scary, super creepy. Yeah.
No, it still could be Agnes. You know,
You know what? I think the same. Yeah,
the gender,
yeah.
the gender is close everyone off.
What if it's someone we never think? Maybe it's not even Agnes. Maybe it's, remember Dottie from the pool party, the blonde haired, stuck up.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, that. Maybe, I don't know, because we never suspect her. But yeah, it's most probably Agnes, because we've always suspected her from day one, from episode one. Okay, so then we cut back to the household of Miss Maximoff, and she's hanging out with her kids, and then her kids ask where Dad is, and then the Wanda says, "Dad's at work, but it's a Saturday." "No, no, no, it's Monday." "No, it's Saturday this morning." And then the kids say, "Is he getting a distraction from us?" And then Wanda says, "No, no, no, no. Sometimes we are not on the same page, but that's only temporary. Your brother will always be your brother, and family will always be forever." And then the kids say, "Hey, Mom, do you have a brother?" And she says, "I do." Not "I did." She says, "I do." Before she says, "I used to have a brother. His name was Pietro, blah, 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 blah." Today, she says, "I do, but he lives far away. And that makes me sad sometimes." I don't know what that was, maybe a foreshadowing for what's to come, but she doesn't act like, her brother is a dead guy. She just says he is a.
I don't think that's the reason, bro. I think they're kids, and I don't think you know how American parents are. They're very
Protective about it.
um,
Okay, I see that. Yeah,
yeah,
I see
yeah.
that point. But the counter argument to that point comes right the next scene when they deal with a dead dog. And then the kid brings up,
Uh,
yeah, right? Because clearly these kids have no problem about talking about dead things. Because immediately they confront Wanda like, "Mom, you can raise the dead." Like, right? Like the dog is dead, so you can raise the dead. That's so. Why wouldn't Wanda bring up about her brother being dead, or whatever, right? So, to me, some things is off about that. Maybe that was a foreshadow, but so yeah. Then the dog goes crazy. The dog walks out, and apparently they see the drone that sword brings into the bubble, and that's where they pissed off the boss. The boss lady, she, you know, the boss lady herself came out of the bubble, bro. That was one of the most chilling, bone-chilling scenes I've ever seen. Because in Endgame, when Wanda does that thing to Thanos, like you took everything from me, blah blah blah. All that was scary enough, but to see the boss herself come out of her own office, her own bubble, to deal with the outside threat, to me that was awesome. To see full effect Wanda Maximoff in her accent also. She puts on her accent when she's talking to the sword guys.
Leave me alone,
Yeah.
you pricks.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah.
yeah, you're definitely right. That was really cool, and I think it's like we can expect this to happen in the future, where she really goes mental,
She
like
breaks.
mental
Yeah.
as in like she don't give a damn about the world.
Yep.
You piss me off, I take your life.
Yeah. That's
And
it. Yeah.
yeah, so
Because she does say, if
you have to
I,
get
I
ready.
I leave
You
you
have to get
alone,
ready
you
for.
leave me alone. Like that's her rules. If I leave you alone, you leave me alone. And then Monica goes and tries to be the middleman or middle woman, and she walks up to her and says, Wanda, I didn't mean to shoot you. I didn't even know the drone was armed. And then Wanda says, yeah, what could you possibly help me with? What could you possibly be of assistance to me? And then Wanda says, I have what I want, now leave me alone. And she I don't know what she does, but when she goes back into the hex, she does this sort of like a red blast of energy on the wall. Do you think that she is expanding the territory, or does she? When I watched it twice. The first time I watched it, I thought maybe she just upped the defense by like +2. Maybe she just increased the defense of the wall. But maybe she expanded the wall and the surrounding. I don't know. What do you think?
Could be both as well, like increase the strength and the perimeter or the circumference of perimeter.
Yeah, of the
Yeah,
hexagon. Yeah,
of the thing. So
yeah. Oh, that.
I think she's being overprotective of what she has.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You're right.
that's a possibility.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Yeah. So yep, and then we cut to the one of my favorite points in the show. In every episode, almost there's a commercial, and this episode is really on the nose. They couldn't point it any more on the nose than this one, because this episode's commercial is from Lagos, the paper towel brand Lagos, and the tagline is, "For when you make a mess, you didn't mean to." Which is exactly what happened in Lagos in Civil War. So that's really it's the theory of all the connections of the commercials and her trauma, her past trauma. This really solidifies it.
This like what I think about that commercial as well.
Okay.
Wanda's really selfish. This person, like, she killed all those innocent people by accident, and she didn't even attempt like the thought of like maybe simulating the thing that shouldn't happen, the thing that happened that shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? The thing happened already.
Yeah.
Like, make a simulation where it does not happen.
Oh. Right.
Like
Right.
it wasn't even. It didn't cross her mind, but breaking into her headquarters, taking Vision. Oh, that one, no problem. give me. You give me
My dead
toy.
husband back.
My toy.
Give me back my toy. Yeah.
Very, very selfish.
Yeah. I mean, you make a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Like, kind of a weird thing that happened.
Yeah.
funny as well.
Okay, so we're almost at the end. The next part that happens is the part that I talked about, the dead dog, where I think Agnes killed that dog. Like it's almost obvious. They don't say it, but I think something happens to that dog, and Agnes finds it. I think that's too much of a coincidence. I think Agnes killed that dog, and she just acts like, "Oh no, I found him in my bushes," and then the kids are sad, and they looked at each other as if
I
they would,
think
yeah.
I think you're right,
Hmm.
but think she's still under control of who?
Oh,
Of of,
a higher power.
of the anti Wanda. She's still in control of her, right? Like, am I wrong or what? Like, am I
Do you
different?
think, wait, Agnes is in control of Wanda or Wanda control of Agnes?
No, no, no. Oh yeah, it could be double agent.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe Agnes is the one actually controlling her, but Wanda thinks she is controlling her, Agnes.
Mm-hmm.
This one too much brainer. I
What a
want to go
plot
to sleep.
twist. Wow.
I want to go to sleep. What is this?
That's
I
great.
want to watch. I want to watch superheroes kill each other, not play chess.
Play chess, play IQ, brick brain chess. Yeah. So the kids, oh, this is fun. The kids say, bring him back, mom. And they looked at each other, they're so sad that they want to age up. I've never seen someone so sad that they looked at their brother and wants to age another 5 years, maybe to get through the time, to pass the time. And and Wanda says, no, 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 you cannot do that. You cannot. Every time you deal with a tragedy, you're supposed to deal with it, not run from it. Which is her own advice. She should take her own advice, honestly. and and she says sometimes when people die, you can't reverse it, no matter how sad it makes us. Her own advice again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay, here's the
Anti Wanda Zuma.
yeah, man. The climax of the whole show happens in the next scene. Vision comes home, he washes the dishes without even looking at Wanda, and and he says, how's the kids? With the dog incident, right? How's the kids now? And she says, the kids are sad, but they'll be okay. And then he says, I talked to Norm today, free from your control, something along those lines. I talked to him, free from your oversight. And then Wanda says, wait, what do you mean? And then Vision says, you cannot control him. He has a family. He has a dad who's sick, and he has a sister. And then Wanda says, she's playing defensive, and then Vision says, tell me what's going on here. You think you can control me like you control them? And then Wanda says, can't I? Which is so scary. That do we know she's in control or do we not know? She's just playing coy. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, as I said before, she's playing God, right?
Yeah. She
To a
really throws us
machine,
off. Yeah.
to a machine. Like, it's just to show what she's got mental. I don't think she's herself, man. Like, I think this just proves that it's not really her,
Mm.
or she's being manipulated. That
Yes.
she's doing all this. This is not not the one that we know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember in Age of Ultron, where her aim was to avenge their parents by killing Tony Stark,
Ah. Wow. Okay.
and then they found out that Ultron's main ulterior motive was to kill all people.
Ah.
Immediately Wanda switch like that.
Ah. Wow.
Like, switch, right? So she has a conscience still,
Wow. You
what
blew
she's
my
doing.
mind, man.
So the fact that she's doing this to many people, like brainwashing, kidnapping them from their families, this is not Wanda.
Mm.
This is
Great point.
this
Great
is
point. I think I side with
this
you
is
on this one. Yeah. And there's
I
something that
see.
happens that solidifies that theory, but we'll get into that because right now they're fighting, right? They're fighting, they're arguing, and they're both flying in the air, and Vision is yelling like, "I don't even remember who I was before Westview," which is to me kind of sad because my guy was there from day one, man. He was Jarvis from Iron Man 1. He was there from day one, from the beginning. He doesn't even remember that because he was there, obviously. So Wanda says,
Yeah.
Wanda says, "You are my husband. You are the father of my kids. Isn't that enough?" And then Vision explodes like, "You don't get to make that choice for me, Wanda." That was so scary. What a good acting. This is Oscar caliber acting in MCU movie. And as they're
Yeah,
fighting,
we should. Yeah, they should. No. We'll see. We'll see.
we'll see.
We'll see
Maybe it's
when the
too
show
early.
finishes.
So as
When
they're
the season finishes. Yeah.
oh yeah, as the season finished. So they're fighting and fighting, and then they eventually calm down. They hear the doorbell, and usually, before they hear the doorbell, Vision asks, "Wait, why are there no other children in Westview?" And the Wanda yeah, she had enough. She's like, "Oh, please stop it. Do you think I'm really in control of all this? Do you really think I walk their dogs? I take them to school. I make their dentist appointments every day. Do you think I'm really in control?" When she said that, I'm like, wait, maybe she's really not in control, right? Maybe it's not all her, right? Because she brings a good point. When she has better things to do than worry about kids playing in the playground, walking their dogs, mailing their mailman, and all that. So maybe it's like the whole thing is not really fully her. Maybe she's in charge of her life inside her house, maybe like around her, but not the whole town. Something is happening in a bigger scale on the whole town.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then this,
She is.
yeah,
She is crazy.
she's crazy. Do you have anything to add to that about the children thing? About why there are no other children?
Yeah, that's strange to me. Like a town where there are no kids,
Yeah.
because this counter counterpoints what I mentioned earlier, where she's has a conscience. The fact that the kids are not there, it just shows that she really cares about the younger people. Like, I don't know. Well, I still think that she is unconscious,
Yes. Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Oh, that's a weird.
As
Yeah.
that in a emotional standpoint.
Okay. But what to me is weird is we see that this is back when in the trailers from before the show came out, we do know that we are coming soon, approaching in an upcoming Halloween episode. And in Halloween episode, we see a bunch of kids running around, right? Maybe, what, do they just spawn in the next episode without any explanation? Maybe where did those kids come from? Because we see kids, but we haven't seen them yet. So I'm just wondering what significance that the Vision points. Yeah.
Amazon Prime.
They delivered the kids, huh? Yeah.
Like storks, storks,
Yeah,
right?
they're from the episode 3. Yeah, suddenly all the storks.
No, the storks. You know those birds that carry babies.
Yeah.
They
So
start to.
they just delivered all the kids in the world and they drop it in Westview. So they're fighting and they calm down a bit, and then they hear the doorbell ring. This is the biggest moment of the episode, obviously. But before that, Wanda says, "I didn't do that," and Vision looks at her like, "Yeah, right. I don't believe you." And then she says, "You don't believe me?" Vision says, "I would like to believe you, but all the facts point to, I cannot ignore all the statistics. So far you've been in control as far as I can see. Why should I believe you now?" And then she runs to the door, opens it, and we cut to Darcy looking at the screen, who has the same reaction as us. It's Evan Peters as Pietro Maximoff, Quicksilver from the Fox universe. Damn. That blew my mind, man. And then Darcy says, "They recast Pietro?" What was your reaction when you saw this?
Oh, I thought when she meant by that, I thought like as a fact, like oh, you just brought him back to life. Now I realized that what she meant was as in casting, as in a
Yeah,
cast
the
like
cast. Yeah,
the
yeah.
person who plays that character,
Yep,
the
yep.
actor who plays that character.
Yeah, because in
That's
everybody in Westview is cast. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's a
It's a big role-playing game.
yeah, yeah. This is big because this shows that the multiverse is coming, and I feel like we're gonna see Doctor Strange soon
Wow, that's
in the
the
series. I
okay.
might be wrong, but I don't want to be wrong. I want to see Doctor Strange. I
Same.
don't know why. I just want to see him.
Okay, let's flash back to episode
Like I
one.
think.
Yeah, you predicted a Quicksilver cameo. I didn't, and you were right about it. I predicted a Doctor Strange
Mhm.
cameo, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but hopefully, maybe it's right. Yeah. Okay, man. I'm gonna be Mephisto right now. I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and I'm gonna say, what if
Mm.
this is all just a big misdirect? This is all. What if this guy Evan Peters is whoever Evan Peters is? Maybe he's just another Westview resident who's kidnapped and stuck in this world. He's not even Quicksilver. He's Quicksilver in the show in the show, the show, but he's not really Quicksilver because even Wanda looks surprised, like she almost doesn't recognize him until she asks him Pietro, and to me it's like why would someone show up in the form of her brother where she doesn't recognize her brother didn't look like this. They could have easily called in her brother to play her brother, but why this guy? Why this guy, right? So what if this is all just to throw us off?
Multiverse.
Yeah, your theory is multiverse.
Multiverse.
I would want to believe it's multiverse. My initial instinct is, I wish it's multiverse because then everything is going to blow up because it leads to Spider-Man 3, it leads to Doctor Strange. But just to play devil's advocate, maybe this is just a guy, maybe this is just a random dude from Westview who got kidnapped and who happens to look like the Quicksilver from Fox. But maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. You know what I heard that Wanda said, someone theorized that the doorbell thing and this Quicksilver thing is another manipulation because Wanda didn't control the doorbell. She didn't expect this to come. So probably, let's say a bigger entity is controlling, right? Let's say Mephisto, that I'm just putting a name, like maybe it's not Mephisto, maybe some bigger thing, but that Mephisto figure is putting this figure of Quicksilver in front of Wanda to trap her in this world, to make her believe again in this world, because clearly she didn't conjure up Quicksilver. She didn't even know he was coming, and someone else is putting her brother's dead figure in front of her. Maybe it's Agnes, maybe it's Quicksilver, maybe it's Mephisto. Yeah, maybe it's like a mind trick, a mind game.
Maybe it's Jimmy.
Maybe it's
We don't know this guy really.
maybe I cannot wait to see
We
where they
don't
go. Yeah.
know. Like if he's like some crazy demon or like demented person, I would like this character more, but I don't see he's going that way.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Somebody said maybe what we see as Pietro is Mephisto in the form of her dead brother. But to me, my argument is,
Could be.
yeah, why wouldn't, for me, my counter theory is, why wouldn't Mephisto show up as the Quicksilver from Age of Ultron? Because that's clearly what her brother looked like. Why would he show up as a Quicksilver that she doesn't recognize? So to me, that's a bit of a fallacy in that theory. Why would he show up in another Quicksilver? Why would he show up in a Fox Quicksilver? You know?
Contract problem.
Yeah. If you want to get into that,
Contractually.
probably, yeah.
Contractually
Obligated. Yeah. But I love that they brought in the 80s Quicksilver because the last one, last X-Men movie was in the 80s, and it was Quicksilver who dressed up as the 80s, and then they brought him in the 80s episode, which is really smart. I like that.
Mhm.
Uh,
I think you're right.
yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Oh, so many theories. What do you think? Is this the big Luke Skywalker cameo that they're talking about, or do you think it's something bigger is coming?
I think Doctor Strange is the pinnacle.
Yeah, because there's still a lot of
No
episodes.
offense to Quicksilver.
No offense.
No offense to Quicksilver. Unless he impressed me with his powers where he can run so fast that he could outrun a star, a
Oh,
falling star. That won't happen when I do this series. I don't think. If that's the case, then I will like this character even more. And maybe I will say that he is the pinnacle of the surprise. But
I want to add
right
another
now,
name
Doctor Strange.
to the mix because we our biggest theory so far is Doctor Strange, Wong, Captain Marvel. Yeah, we know that whatever, right? But I want to add another theory just to throw my hat into the ring. I want to add Thanos because nobody ever thinks about Thanos, and that could be the big Luke Skywalker style reveal. That probably because we're dealing with trauma anyway. We're dealing with grief and sadness and death and all that. Maybe some version of Thanos shows up in like episode 9.
I'll take it a step further.
Oh, what you got?
Magneto will come. Magneto.
Oh, okay. I'll take it one
He's the
step.
father.
Yeah.
He's the actual father
He's the
of those
father.
two kids, right?
On the same line, I'm gonna add another step to the level. Professor Charles Xavier, Magneto's best friend or best enemy, because you know why I'm leaning more towards Xavier than Magneto? Magneto because obviously the father, but Xavier is because there was a report that came out exactly 1 year ago, 2020. Kevin Feige, the producer of the president of Marvel, met with Patrick Stewart, who plays Charles Xavier, and they were talking about not bringing in, but they're just discussing some stuff about Charles Xavier and how maybe they can fit it into the MCU. And this is confirmed. This is not rumor. They confirmed it, and Patrick Stewart says, "Yeah, but those discussions didn't lead to anywhere. I declined." What if he didn't decline? What if this is the big cameo that we're waiting for the next 4 episodes? What if he didn't decline? Maybe he just lied about it.
He's still in the 80s, right? Do you think it's still gonna be that
That's
Charles
true.
Xavier?
Both of them are 80s anyway, so I don't know how they're gonna carry the torch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not their age.
Oh, yeah.
The year.
The year is in
So
1980s,
don't you
yeah.
think it's gonna be McAvoy, not Patrick Stewart?
Ah, you're
I like
saying the young
McAvoy.
versions will show up. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought the old. Okay.
I mean, that will make sense if Magneto comes in an older person, because it makes sense if it's an older person because he's their dad. I mean, he's their dad,
yeah,
right?
because even now Wanda is
Does
old.
that make
Yeah,
sense? Yes.
yeah. Because if the young Magneto shows up, he's about the same age as Wanda only, so that doesn't really make a fatherly sense. And how she would look at him like, "I'm your father," like Darth Vader. "I am your father," but then you're the same age as me. You couldn't be. Maybe that's a theory that we have to look into. Your biggest theory is Magneto, huh? Okay. Mine is Charles, but which Charles we don't know. But I know for a fact that it is the biggest possibility that Charles shows up because of this report thing. Otherwise, yeah, maybe it's Magneto. Yeah. Oh.
Anything the audience want to add?
I remember.
Other people watch it. I remember last time someone was
Yeah,
watching.
Don's journey was watching last time. This time Don is hanging out with us. Maybe he's off today. But yeah, what Don was talking about last time, if you remember, that he even said it's not all Wanda. He brought up some Mephisto theories, which still isn't proven or denied, because we still think there's something fishy is going on. Something fishy with Agnes is going on. Something fishy with Vision. Yeah, remember, this is not Don's journey, the YouTube guy, our Donovan from the group. He says Vision is alive. Do you think he's alive?
Who?
Alfico typed anti Wanda, yeah. But do you think Vision is really alive, or is he like a dead physical? He's in pieces right now. So do you think Wanda just cobbled together a piece of dead Vision, or do you think he's really alive?
Life, but like to what extent, I don't know. Meaning, like, how is it that without the Mind Stone?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe like some. Maybe she made this like an artificial
Mm.
stone.
Even the sword, people
And
were
that
asking, like, how is he alive without the Mind Stone?
said,
Yeah.
I don't know. Some BS happens.
Okay, I want to bring up something else that we skipped over entirely. I think you'll be excited for this one. Well, I am. But let's flash back to the part where Monica is talking about getting into the hex, right? And she's thinking about all this technology, what she needs to go back into it. And then Darcy says, "You really want to go back in there after what she put you through?" And then Monica says, "Yeah, I think I know an aerospace engineer who might be up for this task." And then they skipped. They just moved on. And they didn't even address who that was. She says, "I think I might know an aerospace engineer that might be up for this task." You know all the theories that are coming up, says one name. Can you guess which name?
I don't know.
Oh,
Like legit.
okay. People are speculating from this one piece of line that she's talking about Reed Richards, because all the facts point to, well, not all the facts, but she says one line, but that one line points to who else do we know is an aerospace engineer. The most famous one
I
is
thought he
obviously
was a scientist.
who went to space, no? Like, yeah.
Research. Yeah, but he didn't make it. It was all paid by Victor Von Doom, you know?
Oh, yeah,
Am I
yeah.
dumb?
It could be Doom also. Yeah, it could be Victor Von Doom who is the aerospace engineer. So it could be Victor Von Doom, it could be Reed Richards, but people are speculating Reed Richards because he was an astronaut scientist, not an aerospace engineer, but they can easily retcon that. They can say that in this MCU, Reed Richards is an aerospace engineer. They can do that, but the closest thing I can think of is either Doom or Mr. Fantastic was referenced in this episode, which is cool.
Oh, you were right. He is an engineer.
Oh, you looked it up right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, it's Reed Richards.
This might be a big name drop. He didn't drop the name, but a big.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
like this guy's like Sheldon Cooper, you know, like multiple PhDs.
Yep.
Oh, you don't know the character name.
No, I do know. Basically, he's a smart guy.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
He's a genius. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
But Bruce Banner and Tony Stark has 7 PhDs, so they have their work cut out for them. They have all smart people in this. Yeah.
You know, I wanted the Fantastic Four to be in the Civil War because it was in the comics. Do you know what happened to the Fantastic Four during the Civil War in the comics?
I know. Okay, this as far as I know, the storyline went. Maybe you can add more to it, but before Civil War, the reason why Hulk wasn't in Civil War was because the Illuminati, which is Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, and Namor and all that, they all agreed to send Hulk to space because he's too much of a problem and he's a big problem to the planet. So they all shot him
Correct.
to space. And then after that, I don't know what happened. I don't know why the Fantastic Four wasn't in Civil War. Oh,
No, even like
yeah.
even the Fantastic Four split. Like that's what happened.
Oh,
Guess whichever of them went where in what team.
oh, what
I mean,
happened?
it's pretty obvious. It's a pretty obvious like who went and who went where.
Did they split equally, or did like? Oh, of course, Richards went to Stark's team, right? Or no?
I mean, not all of them, but like the main ones, like the husband and the wife, right?
They split?
They, yeah,
Oh man.
and then I think Reed Richards was with Tony, and Sue Storm was with Cap.
Ah.
Well,
Oh,
she was pregnant as well. They fought.
wait
She
a
by
minute. Is this the part where I think one of Reed went to Tony's side, Sue went to Cap's side, and I think one of the other two members, which either Johnny or Ben Grimm, the Thing, one of them died, no? And then that's what made them realize, no? Or
I think so. I forgot. All I remember who died was Cap.
oh yeah, yeah.
And I don't know who else died. There were so many characters. Even the X-Men were there. Like that's how it was. Actually, it was an actual civil war, man.
It was
It was no
oh,
joke.
it was so big that yeah, X-Men was involved.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we're gonna round out this episode. That goes into a whole nother can of worms that we don't want to
Oh
open right
my
now.
God.
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh my God. Another Easter egg.
Oh wait, another Easter egg?
No, like just now the Reed Richards.
Oh yeah, what a
The
big.
Reed Richards thing.
Possibly. So all right, we're gonna catch you next time on episode 6.
This has been another episode of All the Way with A&A.
Brought to you by Azrin and Alfico. On to the next one. See you soon.